We are watching the ninth episode of Erased. Nearing the end almost, which is weird because I feel like we are just getting started in a way. So kind of interested. But nearing the end, a confrontation awaits us between Kaio's mother and I guess the good guys in this situation. So we'll see how that's orchestrated. I was curious at the end of the last episode if I had a wrong read on what the teacher was trying to do with, like, when he said 7. Is that supposed to be us going back to her house and we're staging something here, or is he actually trying to meet up with Satoru's mother and or have a call with her or something and discuss things, and it's going to lead into more suspicion? I don't know. I'm actually curious, and I guess we'll find out in this opening sequence if he had any sort of hand in it, and if not, then that'll play out as the episode progresses. But we're just going to continue going from there. Full suspicion is still on him as the one that we got to kind of hunt down, and we got to see what exactly we have to do. Concern is kind of coming in my mind too, of like, even if Kaio's not the one that they initially target, like, what is there a chance that like Hiromi or somebody is still getting, or who is the other one we got introduced to? Aya or Anna or one of those names. Will they be, targeted in place because full focus is being directly played on to protecting Kaio in the situation? I don't know. We will just have to watch and see, though. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. They do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Let me comment if they're seriously going with the 9th episode of Erase. Kaio! 何日もどこをつけ歩いてんだ! こんな... あんたたち... やっぱりあんたたちだったのね。人んちの娘隠すなんてどういうこと？余計な心配させやがって。訴えてやるから覚悟しな。I just got her yesterday. In the house and in the shed, probably. It's good though. Yeah. I was very concerned she's going to lose her life in the past here. I still kind of am. She really wanted to. She could just beat the shit out of her with the shovel right now. Kaio, that is. That we proved it. We did have him set up. All right. Wow. He makes it so fucking complicated. I want to say he's a good dude, but he's not. So that's what it was for, then. Deserve to hear it. Yeah. You should probably get hold of the child before you tell her all these things. We have like a police force here to restrain her. What are we going to the police for? To report us as kidnapping her child? Oh, I just got crazy chills.
私が助けてやるべきだったのに。全部お前一人に背負わしちまったべさ。
No sympathy for you still beating your daughter, though. I don't give a fuck what happened to you before then. You still did that.
それは自分への憐れみの涙だったのだろう。
Yeah.
すがって泣く母親を持たないカヨは、そんな母をもう見てはいなかった。
私がしっかり預かるから。
私は自分が生きるこの世界の中で子供が一番大事だ。あんたにもきっとそんな時があったっしょ。
ありがとう先生。
いや、我々を動かしたのはお前だ、サトル。サトルが取った勇気ある行動の結末が悲劇でいいはずがないだろう。カヨはもう大丈夫だ。
I don't know about that.
俺には父の記憶がほとんどないけれど、父親の言葉ってこんな感じなんだろうか。
サトル、ありがとう。
Oh.
私をここから連れ出してくれて。私だけがいない町、ひなずきかよ。今よりもっと大きくなって、一人でどこへでも行けるようになったら、遠い国へ行ってみたい。遠い島に行ってみたい。誰もいない島に行ってみたい。辛いことも悲しいこともない島に行ってみたい。その島で私は登りたい時に木に登り、泳ぎたい時に海で泳ぎ、眠りたい時に眠る。私は私だけがいない町のことを考えると気持ちが軽くなる。遠くへ行きたい。
俺はカヨを救った。その命を未来へとつなげた。ここから先はカヨ自身が足跡を刻んでいく。カヨの向かう未来が明るい場所であることを俺は信じる。
ひなずきを助けたとこまではヒーローなんだけどな。
What is it? Fuck, she got left for her.
大丈夫？
うん、平気。
全然平気そうじゃねえべや。
まあ無理ないべ。ひなずきいなくなっちまったんだし。
うん。一見落着なんだけ
Still
ど
two other kids.
サトル、ちょっと来てくれ。カヨの母親な。数年間はカヨに近づけなくなると思う。
Keep her away forever, dude. Fuck her.
おばあさんと新しい生活を始めることになる。
先生、ありがとう。
おう。
So how do we know the grandmother's suitable? Who looked into this?
悲劇でいいはずがないっていう言葉。今の僕にはとても嬉しい言葉だったんだ。
欲しかったのはカヨの笑顔だったんじゃないのか。
She finally got the wish.
俺も得られた。ところでサトル、カヨはずっとお前の家にいたのか？
違うよ。隠れ家。
隠れ家？
うん。泉小ホッケー部の使わなくなったバスに貝を隠してた。
へえ。来るのはお前たちみたいな誘拐犯だけってわけか。
そう。
What do you mean by that?
笑えね
Only kidnappers like you? Yeah, and the fucking other guy.
え。犯人のターゲットはヒロミと中西綾。
Okay, so we are gonna focus it there. Weird.
二人を一人ぼっちにさせないこと。
Fucking weird.
クラスメートのヒロミはともかく、隣の泉小に通ってい
You have no access to the other
アプロー
chick.
チが難しいな。ゆうきさんとよく一緒にいるという話だが、なんて声かける？向こうは俺のことなんて知りもしない。
Yeah.
結構ハードル高いぞ。
知らないこと仲良くなる方法？
How do I become friends with somebody I don't know and doesn't know me and we don't know each other exists?
行くかよって思ったべ。
Can't
悟りか？
かよちゃんって。
even accidentally say it out loud this time.
なんでそんなことまで。
How
玉かけてみただ
did
け。
you get to that?
まあ女の子なんだけど。
It just happened to
い
be
つも
one.
一人ぼっちなんだ。悪い方に考えてるうちはダメだべさ。うまくいった時のことを考えれば一緒や。当たって砕けろだべ。じゃあ俺も後で行くから。したっ
I
け？
talked to Kenya about this. He's like, yo, I know there's something else going on here. Like he's already getting sus.
が18時半か。ヒロミを家に送って戻って
It's just stalking at this point.
まずは基本的な行動パターンを調べなきゃ。
Mm-hmm.
もし誘拐が起こるなら、学習塾終わりのこの時間帯が一番可能性が高い。
Yeah, nobody can see you behind that post.
ちょうどよかった。手伝って。
家まで突き止めたかったのに、このタイミングで現れんなよ。
And before she's dead now.
安かったからつい。重い。口に出すな。本当に重くなるべさ。黙ってても重いって。あ？助かったよ先生。
Oh, brother. Why was he just lurking around there?
なんで結婚しないの？
Crazy.
突然だな。
Crazy
うん
question. It's a very kid question, though.
結婚ってのは必ず相手がいてするもんだ。相手の気持ちとか、お互いのタイミングとか、まあいろいろ。
It's not that easy.
一度手痛い失敗をしてるから慎重になりすぎているのかもな。
Yeah,
ごめんなさい。
that's fair.
知らない女の子へのアプローチ。
うん。
You got any experience in this video?
そうだな。僕は慎重派だ。
Yeah, I kind of just admire from a distance and don't talk to them.
配信を解くところからだな。
警戒を解く。
あ、よく言い換えると自分をアピールする。スポーツ
My
が得意とか
appeal.
料理が得意とか、何でも武器にするんだ。
Neither of
相
those.
手がどれかに興味を持ったとき、警戒心は解ける。あまり感心するなよ。僕はストレートに感情を出すのが得意じゃないから、ロジックに頼ってるだけだ。
Also better at thinking it through than actually taking action.
なんかはみ出てるよ。
Oh,
そ
oh.
そこは触っちゃ。
ごめんな。これは。
サトル、見てしまったね。
What do you learn children in?
見られた以上、もう隠すこともない。お前も食って共犯者になれ。
We're missing something
3
here.
年前、タバコをやめてから代償行為としての。
That's a good reasoning. That's a good reasoning.
プライベートな空間では。
I'm gonna be suspicious though, but that's a good reasoning.
変なやつ。
Sure.
いただきます。
He's got 3 in.
私にも一個ちょうだい。
はい。
Fine, dude. That's his whole stash. Fucked up.
じゃあ僕自動
Alright,
によって
we're too positive. Something bad's about to happen.
待ってヒロミ。
Yeah, Hiromi, do not go alone.
ひなずきの次はヒロミの保護者みたいだな。そうかな。
He has to be.
サトル、ちょっと二人で話せない。
No,
いいよ。
with Hiromi. Yeah, Hiromi, don't leave. Stay here.
俺、後から行くよ。
No, no, no.
正義の味方になりたいんだ。続きがあるなら、俺も連れてってくれ。しかもさ、よく見て。靴に布を巻いてたんじゃないかな。滑り止めじゃないな。靴底の跡を残さないためかも。
Hiromi just thinks we're playing detective. Anything left behind here? Yeah, it's almost like you warned somebody that this is where we were.
箱の数自体減ってるかも。ちぎれたボール箱も多い。誰かが中身だけ持ち去ったんだろうね。物騒な感じのリュックを置いてったやつだろ。俺はその男のことを子供を狙った殺人犯だと思ってる。サトル、一体どういうことだか。分かってる。こんな話信じられるわけないよな。
サトルくんがそう考える理由は何なの？
今ここでちゃんと説明できる
Yeah,
理由はない。
nothing you say would make
リュック
sense.
の中身と練炭を見て、連続殺人犯の殺人道具の隠し場所っていう連想したんだ。こんなのむちゃくちゃな話だっていうことは自分でも分かってる。でも俺はそう思ってるんだ。今だから言うけど、カヨのことも親の虐待を防ぐだけじゃなくて、この殺人犯から守るために一人ぼっちにさせたくなかったんだ。
You're next. Staring him straight down.
探偵にでもなるつもりかよ。その話が飛躍してるかしてないかは多分問題じゃない。俺が信じるか信じないかだ。
No reason not to. Besides for the fact that it sounds far-fetched.
送ってくれなくても大丈夫だよ。僕男だし。
いいんだ。俺こっちに用あるから。
Aw.
サトルくん。
何？
僕もサトルくんのこと信じたい。僕にできること何でもするから遠慮なく言ってね。
もちろん。
じゃあね。
じゃあね。サトル、正直俺はお前の仮説を 99% くらいまさかって思ってるよ。
Hey,
でも
there we go. There's still one.
ありえない話じゃないって思ってる。うん。
Glad we got some backing here.
いない事件を想像してごっこ遊びしてるだけ。ごっこ遊びで構わないさ。ここの状況のせいもあるかもしれないけど、俺、サトルのその思いみたいなものはきっと何かにたどり着くって思う。
Potentially a future.
サトルは俺のことを信じて話してくれた。だから俺もサトルのことを信じたいんだ。僕なら助けられたはずなのに。
18年前、そう言って俺はお袋の前で泣いたっけ。二度と同じ思いはしたくない。
No.
誰も一人ぼっちにはしない。俺なら助けられるはずだ。
There's more. Oh, they're gonna cliffhanger us, aren't they? Ah, shit. Ah, fuck.
一緒に来てほしいところがあるんだけど。
サトル、これからアジト行ってみない？
ごめん、ちょっとやることがあって。
何こそこそやってんだあいつら。
面白くない。
They don't want to hang out with us. Yeah, I would too. I have a concern that I did have some suspicion about her at one point. Weird. I was going to say I had some concern that with overprotection on Hiromi's part, as well as Kaio being out of the picture, and then even stalking in a sense to get, you know, investigate what's going on with Aya, that there's a chance that maybe another child can get targeted here, and whoever's killing doesn't really have a strong reasoning behind what they're doing and is just mentally fucked up and doing it. Because who's saying that we like have to continuously go after the same group, you know? Which would definitely throw things for a loop. For the time being, the Kaio rescue arc comes to a conclusion, and we are successful. And I say for the time being because Lord knows what would happen to her. The fact that the person that we're most suspicious of knows who she's going with and probably where to find her and whatever else. So, of course, there's always going to be concern that something happens off screen. I think that's kind of weak to do, though. So I'm just going to assume that we are successful and done in regards to her. Feels a little abrupt in the sense that I don't think I was expecting that at all. I think I was expecting the whole series to revolve around that. And I even joked about it in the last episode, how there was like no concern or care for this other girl who he walked past and like didn't really notice or anything, but wasn't paying too much attention to the other kids and was solely focused on her. So now it's just kind of funny to me that she's out the picture already. And then we're just like, all right, let's just focus on, on everybody else because he was successful here, which is, I don't know, interesting though. I guess we'll see how it plays out. This feels like one of those episodes that was rushing through some of the chapters a bit. And because typically like the pacing just felt a little rapid in comparison to what we're used to getting. And honestly, I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing. I would have to read all the content and know exactly like, you know, what they kind of went through and everything, but I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing. I think they fit in a bunch of stuff that makes sense, that flowed pretty well together throughout this, and they slowed it down at moments that I think should have been slowed down a bit. So I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but it's just noticeable that it did feel like we kind of crammed a lot into it, unless these chapters were just absolutely jam-packed with everything. And just written this way. Then if that's the case, then the author themselves have some pacing issues too that they need to address and work on. But overall, not too bad there. I think the opening sequence with the mom in dealing with that, I got a lot of chills. Like when her mother showed up, I was like, goosebumps were going crazy. And I actually got them at like the next moment too when Kaio started reciting her her story as well. which I think was pretty cool. But I will say that that sequence overall felt pretty fucking flat to me. So big highlight, I think, on that part. Definitely was pretty strong in some of the moments, some moments not so much. I'll talk about that a bit when I go back through the episode. And to get the whole extra sequence, a lot of focus on the interaction and stuff in regards to the teacher. And I think even one of you left a comment that really encapsulates the entire like series and something that I've been struggling to almost put my finger on the word for it. And it's that we're not really dealing with a mystery. We're dealing with more of a thriller, which I think is a good way to put it, because I've said, you know, I've had the same theory for who it is since realistically the beginning, but it's really solidified over the last few episodes, and giving a lot of focus directly to that person throughout those last like 2 episodes and this one especially, I think also adds to that a little bit more, because it makes you be suspicious of them and every movement and action they're doing, and the fact that they're on such friendly and good terms with the main character and the family and all the people kind of around them, and that they conveniently are in every single location that you need them to not almost be in because you are concerned, I think adds to that factor a little bit more. So I think it's cool. I think, and it provides a little bit more like relief almost for the feeling of, I guess, some people who would feel like things are a little too obvious, and it makes like it not feel like a mystery anymore. And that's because it shouldn't, I guess. And that was my own feeling towards it a few episodes ago. I just didn't have the words to kind of describe it, was that it's not necessarily a bad thing for us to know early on who exactly we're after. It just, if you can write it in a way that makes it very suspenseful as you're continuing through, and all the characters, you see them like slowly piece things together without actively like just directly coming out and saying that it's this person, could make things interesting, which is kind of what we're getting here. And it would be a real curveball if they decide to flip it and be like, actually, it was somebody else all along. I don't know how exactly I would feel about that. I don't think I would feel too good about that, because I like when we have somebody that we're supposed to be suspicious of actually be the person and just let them be on screen a lot. Or even if you're not supposed to be suspicious of them, have them be on screen a lot. So have it be somebody like Kenya or somebody who we've consistently kind of worked with, right? And not have it be like just some rando that we have not been introduced, like Yuki. They keep mentioning him, but he's not like relevant or on screen at any given point. So it just holds no weight when it appears and it's him. I'm just like, really? Like, we're doing that? That's my sort of feeling if we go down that sort of route, you know? That's just how I would feel personally. So I like the direction of the teacher being the one that I'm placing all my suspicion on instead. A little flashback of what we had the last time. We step in, she tries to hit us with a shovel. I got really concerned that she was going to die at some point. I still kind of do. I think that would be a fun way to write it, would be have her get killed in the past, because then you can't do anything about it. But that seems like a little too extreme, and they probably won't do anything about that. This sequence is just funny as fuck to me, because Kaio's grabbing onto her here, where realistically she's a child. You could throw her off. I don't care how weak the mom is. There's no way her child's stronger than her. And at the same time, you have a fucking shovel in your hands. You're just like kind of swinging your body around to hit her with a shovel if you really want to take her out. So it just feels kind of stupid, but it's whatever. They show up, we express everything that's going on. And this is why I mean, like, everything's so thrilling, because it's so cool that the teacher's here, right? It's cool that we reference the fact that basically the call we had in the last episode, that I was a little concerned about like what this meetup was going to be, and potentially in fear for Satoru's mother's life here. Instead, it just turns into, actually, we were doing a full-on heist and just setting the shit up. I think that's so cool. I think that's awesome. And I think it's awesome that he's here, because he's on the scene for everything that's actually happening. It makes you question, why are you here? It makes you question, can we actually trust this guy or not? Because he seems to be at the scene of every single thing that's happening. It's really cool. It seems like, you look at him, he walks over, he's on our side, he's trying to put away with it, even this person that you know that he's targeting and going after, and he's okay with seeing them go away and having to shift potential targets to somebody else. I think it's so cool. I think it's done well. The mom walking in sent fucking chills up my spine. I thought it was so cool. But I will say, I think this part's super fucking weak, like super weak, and does absolutely nothing for me. Just because you've endured your fair of trauma and your fair of, getting beat and treated extremely poorly and all this, doesn't mean that you take it out on your daughter. It doesn't make it any more acceptable, the fact that you are doing it this sort of way. Even if we played into the route, which other shows and things that I've consumed in media have, of your parents did it, so it's more acceptable that you do it, I can kind of see that on a little bit more of a level. But at the same time, it's still fucking wrong. It's still your defenseless and weak child. It's still somebody that you're supposed to care for more than anybody, that you brought into this world through your own choice or mistakes or whatever actually occurred. it still happened, and this is still something that you should care for. And if you do not care for that child, you should relinquish the child. You should give them up to somebody who absolutely will take care of them, as opposed to sitting there and putting them through this suffering and using them as a punching bag for yourself. It is absolutely fucked up, and we don't support it at all. I don't like when we try and flip these sort of things. This is what I said in the few episodes ago when it seemed like Satoru's mother was trying to be like, you could tell she cares for her daughter because look, her clothes are like all intact and everything. It's like, no, that's not fucking true. We're not doing that. And we fully display it here. She goes days without even worrying about her being in concern of where she is. And then she freaks out when she goes to find her because it's like she probably needed to take her anger out on something and she didn't have her fucking punching bag to do so. It's fucked up. We don't forgive these sort of people. We don't want anything to do with them. They're like, oh, she probably won't see her daughter for a few years. Fuck no. She shouldn't see her daughter until her daughter's a fucking adult, and then her daughter should be able to make the decision if she wants to try and give her another chance and let her be in her life or not. That's what should probably happen. But instead, we're just going to treat it like it's not that big a deal. No, it's completely fucked up. It's absolutely completely fucked up that that's the case. Look, her daughter in this sequence, they literally show us, is terrified about what's happening and trying to put a stop and putting her own body on the line for the fact that her mom's getting fucking abused here. And even here is completely destroyed having to see the sight that she's seeing, but instead turns around and takes it out on her. Like, go fuck yourself. Absolutely. Fuck no. So this sequence is just weak and trash to me overall. I'm happy the grandma's at least getting her. I don't know if I necessarily like the idea that it's somebody in the family because it gives the mom access to knowing exactly where the kid's going. But whatever. I guess it's better that it's somebody that she is aware of and knows potentially. And then, yeah, this was funny. The little 3D shot that we do here, but really cool at the same time. I don't know. We're never going to attack creativity. I think it's cool. And then he runs after her. A fun little chase scene in the car, as always, as somebody's leaving and you won't get to see them again. This caught me by surprise, too, because I just was not fully expecting us to just cut it here and end things. But we absolutely do. The teacher's lying about the kidnapping here is so funny to me. It's like, yeah, your experience just like me, stupid. And him telling him exactly where everything is and now directing it into us later, now knowing that everything was pulled from the bus is hilarious. It's like all the stars are perfectly aligning here. We can still play into the fact that the teacher's not actually the one doing it, and instead it's like he's providing things or setting things up or working on the orders of somebody else, or maybe he's ordering somebody else to do things, but he's involved in some sort of way. We can always play into that if we want to, which I guess the signal of the girl at the end potentially could indicate that, but I have other feelings for where we're going with that. Satoru gets on a stalker arc, starts following, taking all the information down. It's just hilarious to me that the teacher just happens to be where we are, right? At every given moment. Conversation that goes over decently normal, I would say, for the most part, until he exposes all of his candy, which is like a, oh shit, this is, you know, a red flag for somebody, of course, trying to lure potential children and stuff in. The only thing he's missing is his van as opposed to his fucking, you know, just car here. So I think like makes sense. And it's almost like they're trying to make you think this is the direction they're going, but in reality, they're going a different way. But I think that's also intentional, where it's like they want you to be like, this is all too obvious, so it has to be something else. Whereas I don't think that's the case. I think that we're just continuously going to keep leading into it without actually discussing it too much. I think the lollipops would have been more of a giveaway if there was like indication of somebody else holding or having one at other points that we saw, but there realistically wasn't. I like us trusting Kenya a lot. And being able to actually like go out of our way and utilize it. I love the power of friendships here, right? I love the, not the first show I've seen utilize these sort of same lines of dialogue in a way of just being like, even if there's a 99% chance, or just like a no matter how far-fetched all the things that you are saying are, literally just tell me it and then tell me you need me to believe in it because you're literally my friend and I need that, right? I need somebody to support me and be by my side and walk through this with me. And it's as simple as that sometimes. Sometimes you get too caught in your own head, right? Sometimes you just need to know those people around you will trust you regardless of how fucking insane the things are that you're saying. Know that they're willing to be those who stand by your side even in the darkest and toughest of times. And that's a situation that Kenya fully provides that he's able to do. And same thing with Hiromi here, which I think is nice, especially considering he's a target here, that he's willing to be by our side. This is super cute. I like this a lot. And we separate ourselves for the night. We've got a whole squad of people that are by our side. Things are looking up, and we cannot leave anybody alone in the past. We all leave together, They're going to spy on us a bit, and look who gets left behind and walks out. So my theory for her is, I think what I started talking about when the ED was playing, which is the general idea that we can play into, because Kaio's gone doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to continuously target the exact same 3 sets of people. He could really go in a different direction if he wants and find somebody else. It doesn't have to fall in line with this. They haven't given us any reasons as to why they're doing what they're doing. So because of that, who's stopping you from targeting somebody else, right? Who's stopping you from changing things and altering it? Just because it continued to play out the same way twice doesn't mean it's going to every single time, especially when you take something and you alter the situation, right? You remove a piece of the puzzle, right? That's Kaio. And now it's like, okay, we got to fill that in. We got to fill the gap in with somebody else potentially. We got to still get 3. Maybe we don't even have to do any of the others, and we just pivot to the next person who seems to be most likely or easiest to kind of target. This also almost screams isolation. Everybody leaves in pairings, leaves with their friends, has activities and things to do. We have a girl here who absolutely seems to not. I think that there's potential there. Which gets me interested if we do go after her, because we have such little amount of time. How the fuck do you go into the future or back into the past or do anything? Do you come to a resolution at some point as Satoru and be like, I can't save them all. I save the people who are important and close to me, and then you have to live with that? Can you do that? Do you do that? Do we write it that way? Do we not? I don't know. There's plenty of things I'm interested in. I think it would be really fun to write it that way as opposed to making him the hero of all. But we'll have to see. I hope we get to see a little bit more of Kaio at some point, whether just hearing from her and her life of at home and how things are kind of going, or whether we are successful and we get a future flash forward and actually get to see present day of where she's at and what their relationship could potentially have evolved to, and like, or him running into her at some sort of Makoto Shinkai sort of ending to a to a film, you know? Maybe we can get something along those lines. I think that would be cool. But we'll just let things play out and see. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you liked it all, hit the like and subscribe. They do mean a lot to me. Feel free to check out the video on the channel. If it comes with the Zero series, we'll be back for the 10th episode very soon. We're very close and nearing the end. Hope you guys have a great one, though. Peace.